Guess who's here? THEAR is here. Welcome everyone. Today we're talking about the UFC 4 beta. Is it as good as eating a cherry bakewell with custard off Alexis Texas booty, or is it worse than Ben Askren striking?
Boom, roasted.
That's the discussion in today's video. Now I'm not going to show any gameplay because EA said no, nigga. I've already got one copyright strike, so any more then I will be in more hot water than a tea bag. So I don't want that, you don't want that, so I'm just not going to show any gameplay. So without further ado, let's jump into this video quicker than Khabib jumps out the octagon. The first thing I'm going to say is the people that are calling this game trash are more likely just trash at the game in general, because they said the same thing with the UFC 3 beta, and when UFC 3 actually came out, people said UFC 2 was better, but when people got a hold of the striking in UFC 3, people said the striking in UFC 3 is the best we've seen from EA. I'm going to separate me from not knowing the controls of the game and just getting my booty whooped from a lack of knowledge from the actual mechanics of the game being good or not, because many people just say UFC 4 sucks because they suck at the game and don't know how to play it. That's what it comes down to. So I just wanted to get that off my chest first of all. Now let's talk about, is the game actually good, and let's talk about what the game does well. The first thing this game does well is the clinch. The clinch in UFC 4 is great. I love it. It's fluid, it's smooth, and it feels natural. It's a massive improvement from UFC 3's clinch, where as soon as you or your opponent would initiate the clinch, the fight would become static and the momentum of the fight would be put on halt. In UFC 4, the momentum continues when you are in the clinch, which is nice, and it just keeps the pace of the fight going. The clinch doesn't feel as dominant or as strong as it does in UFC 3, but it's a lot smoother. It keeps the flow of the fight going, and it's a lot more realistic than UFC 3's clinch. I love the back and forth exchanges you can do in the clinch as well. I think that's a great addition. But overall, I love how the clinch feels. It feels crisp, it feels smooth, it feels beautiful. I just love it. I love the clinch in UFC 4. I think it's a massive improvement from UFC 3's, and I think EA should keep this clinch system. It's much better than UFC 3's without a doubt. UFC 3's clinch system is good to do damaging and good to land shots, but it's very sloppy, it's very stagnating, it's very slow. UFC 4 kind of gets rid of the power that the clinch has, but also adds the fluidity that the clinch actually has in real UFC fights. Number 2 is the stand-up. The stand-up feels like an improvement from UFC 3. There's not a ton of difference, but there's enough to make you feel the difference. The combos feel a tad bit smoother. The the movement feels better. The striking overall feels a lot more genuine, and the back and forth exchanges you can get into feel a lot better than UFC 3's. They feel a lot more natural. UFC 4 also does damage control well. You can't just get stunned that easily in UFC 4 like you can in UFC 3. I think it's always been a problem with EA making UFC games. They've never truly figured out how to manage damage control, but I think UFC 4 does it well. You can't get stunned that easily, and if you choose a fighter that has a good chin, then they can take a lot more damage than other fighters. In UFC 3, the chin strength, I don't feel like it meant a lot. It wasn't a massive factor, but in UFC 4 it feels balanced and it feels genuine. You can't get stunned easily from jabs, and you have to actually set up combos to do significant damage, and you have to keep landing in the same place over and over again in order to stun your opponent. Obviously well-timed clean shots can stun your opponent as well, but it just feels overall a lot better in the damage control department. So that's what I like about UFC 4. The stand-up is good. I can't really fully judge the stand-up until I've played as the best pure boxer the MMA world has ever seen, which is Ben Askren. Until I'm knocking people out of existence and knocking them out cold with Ben Askren, I'm not going to fully judge the stand-up, because I need to play as the best striker in UFC, which is Ben Askren. Until then, I'm not going to fully judge it. However, one thing I would like to see improved about the stand-up is more wobble animations and more flash knockdowns. I feel like they're missing in UFC 4, but apart from that, the stand-up feels a lot better overall. I like the stuns in UFC 4. I like the stun HUD and how it indicates when an opponent is hurt, and the strike that actually stuns your opponent feels nice and it actually feels rewarding. It feels like you've landed a really clean shot. I feel that was missing from UFC 3. It was like, oh, you stunned your opponent, but it didn't really feel like, oh, I got you with a good shot. In UFC 4 it's like, boom, yeah. That hurt, bro. Don't even try play that off yet. That hurt. I can see it in your face, bro. I can see a tear coming down your cheek, bro. That hurt, man. Also, I like the submission HUD. It feels a lot more intense. One thing I like is when you get a submission and it gets deeper and deeper, the screen starts going darker and you can hear your opponent breathing heavier than Lizzo after she's run up a flight of stairs. I like that. It adds to the intensity of getting out of a submission or getting a submission. But the stun HUD, when it turns all red and when you're hurt, when you hurt someone, I like how that feels. It adds to the intensity of the fact that your opponent is hurt, and it's also a good indicator on how bad your opponent is hurt, because the longer it stays on, the more damage and the more hurt that fighter actually is. So it's a good indicator to whether you should press the action and go for the finish, or whether you should back off, whether you just tag them or whether you actually really hurt them. So I like the stun HUD and I like the submission HUD, and I like the stuns in general. Number 4, the fourth thing I like about UFC 4's beta is the animations. When the fight is starting, you have 4 animations to choose from, such as one pointing at the opponent, another is raising their hand in the air. There are others, but I haven't tried them all out yet. You can do the same thing after you win a fight. You can choose from 4 different celebrations. The only problem I have with this feature is it's not clear which one is which. They all have the same icon, I believe. Either I'm blind or they all have the same icon. So just making that a little bit clear, making maybe this one's a fiery response, this one's a cool response, this is a neutral response, you know, having that kind of system where it tells you which celebration does what and which animation does what, whether it's a point at the sky or point at your opponent. I think it just needs to be a bit more clear overall. But it's a good start because it gives the character a sense of personality, the fighter a sense of personality, and it allows the game and it allows the gamer more freedom and how they want to interact with their opponent. Still would like the option to touch gloves when the referee's talking to you or not, but you know what, we'll settle for this for now. But EA, please add the option to touch or not to touch gloves when the referee is talking and announcing the fight and explaining, like, you've been over the rules in the back of the dress or the back of the dress all the time, you protect yourself at all time, if you want to touch gloves, do it now. You should have the option whether you can touch gloves or not. I feel like that would be a little cool little feature to add. Maybe I'm tripping, but I would like that. But the new animations are a neat little feature to add in, so I like that. Now, let's play the role of everyone on Twitter for a moment, and let's trash this game and jump on the bandwagon of this game's trash, bro. And let's I don't know what impression that was. And let's talk about what's wrong with UFC 4's beta. Number 1, takedown defense. The takedown defense in UFC 4 is wonky. That's the best way to explain it. It's wonky. I've not been able to stuff one takedown in UFC 4. It just seems like the opponent can get the takedown every single time, no matter what. You press the buttons to defend the takedown, but UFC 4's like, nah, you're still getting taken down anyways, bro, so there's no point trying. Gee, I don't even know why you press them buttons. They don't do anything, bro. It's just a fake button, bro. The takedown defense doesn't seem right. It doesn't work, and it just seems off. Like, you could try and stuff a takedown harder than you stuff a Christmas turkey, and the game will be like, nah, you're still getting taken down, bro. Don't even try that again. It's not clear whether you have to push down and stuff the takedowns, or which direction you have to push, if you have to push a certain direction to stuff it, or you just have to press buttons. Because I've tried everything. I've tried pressing the buttons, LT and RT, I've tried to press them separately, I've tried to push them together and pushing down, none of it worked. I'm still getting taken down every single time, so that is wonky. It needs fixing. I don't like the takedown system. Maybe go back to UFC 3's takedown system. There was nothing wrong with that. I don't fully understand why they changed the takedown defense buttons. I don't know. If someone could tell me why they've changed the buttons for the takedown defense, that would be great. I didn't feel like there was a problem in UFC 3's with the takedown system. I feel like that was very good in UFC 3, so I'm struggling to see why they actually changed it in UFC 4. Maybe it clashes with certain buttons. I don't know. The second thing I don't like is the ground game. The ground game is probably the worst thing about the UFC 4 beta. It's got a good system, right? The idea behind it is good, it just doesn't feel right. So, for example, your fighter will automatically try to transition whether you like it or not, which is a revolting feature. When I saw that mechanic in the game, I nearly threw up. I don't even know what's going through the mind of EA when they say, yo, should we automatically transition people? Yeah, it sounds brilliant, mate. Because it doesn't work. It just, oh, automatic transition denied. And you're like, bro, I wasn't even gonna go that way anyway. Also, there's a new system where it tells you that you can either get up from a position or do some ground and pound from that position or submit your opponent from that position. However, it doesn't work like that. For example, if you're on bottom and you push the analog to get up, it doesn't necessarily mean you will get up. Your fighter will just move to a better position or get up. It's the same with the submit and the ground and pound prompts, sorry. They don't necessarily mean what they mean. It's like if someone said to you, do you want a drink of water, bro? And you was like, yeah, go on then, I'll love a drink of water. And then they responded with, yeah, go on, get one then. It's like, you would think they bring you the drink of water, a glass of water maybe. It's very misleading. What I'm trying to say is it's very misleading. Ground and pound doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do ground and pound. Getting up doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get up. Submitting doesn't necessarily mean you're going to submit him from the position. Also, people on top are so OP. They can hurt you and finish you so easily. It's unreal. Like, I was Tyron Woodley and I was against Masvidal. I must have cracked Masvidal with about 5 shots. 3 of them were blocked, 2 of them landed, and he was knocked out. I was like, what? I didn't even want to win. I was like, okay. It was a very climactic win, anticlimactic win. It didn't feel good at all. Also, when you're on top and landing ground and pound, it's hard to deny opponents' transitions. Every time I was Kobe and I pushed it up and did some ground and pound to my opponent, they were just able to get up every time. I couldn't deny it no matter how many times I did try to deny it. It just refused to let me deny it, so that needs fixing. But they need to remove the automatic transitioning. Don't even try and improve it. Do not try and improve that feature. Remove it. Completely remove it. It's a horrible feature. Also, sometimes when you transition, your fighter will try and transition again. I don't know if it's only me experiencing this. I don't know if it's my controller. Maybe my controller has a bit of drift where it just automatically goes to the left or right. Maybe it's my controller, but from what I've played, whenever I've transitioned, it might transition again. Sometimes it transitions again. Sometimes it won't. It's very confusing. This game is very confusing in the ground aspect. It's not very clear what does what in the game. So yeah, the ground game is probably the worst thing about UFC 4. They need to remove automatic transitioning, fix the ground and pound when someone's on top. They're just way too powerful and the ground and pound does way too much damage. Also fix the transitions when you're on top and your opponent tries to get out. You should be able to deny them a lot easier and a lot better. It should feel a lot smoother. But yeah, the ground and pound, the ground game, everything about the ground game is horrible at the moment. But apart from those 2 things, UFC 4 is a solid game. There's lots of things wrong with it that aren't to do with the gameplay aspect of it, so I will make another video talking about features that need to be added into the game to make it more realistic and more authentic. But from a gameplay standpoint, it's good. I like it. It's fun. It's very rewarding, should I say. I can't criticize the submission system because I have escaped them before, but it does feel a lot harder to escape submissions. However, I just draw that down to me not knowing how the submission system actually works, rather than it being a flawed mechanic. I need to experience it more and more, pardon me, more and more. I think I nearly threw up then. But yeah, the submission system, I like it. It's better than UFC 3's. I feel like it's just a bit harder, I guess. I just need to use it a bit more to fully judge the submission system. But yeah, that's it. I rate UFC 4 a solid 8.2. UFC 4 beta is a solid 8.2. It feels nice, it feels good, like a shot of whiskey after a hard day of work. It just goes down smooth. It's nice, it's relaxing. It makes you want to play more of the game rather than discouraging me to not play any more of the game. And that's what a video game is all about. It should encourage you to play more of it, and it should entice you to play more of it, not discourage you to play more of it. So UFC 4 solid. I don't know what else I need to say apart from it's solid. I like it despite people trashing it. I actually really like UFC 4's beta. So let me know what you think about UFC 4's beta. What do you think about it? What do you think they did well? What do you think they did wrong? What do you think they need to add to UFC 4 in general? Let me know your thoughts in that big brain of yours. Until next time, I've been Thea. Put Thea inside your heart. Don't like, don't subscribe, and don't comment. I don't need your input. Until next, you know what, I'm just gonna go. See you later. Bye.